Yo, that was one of the craziest performances I've ever seen. Wardell Stephen Curry put France to sleep in what may have been one of the greatest games of his career, and most definitely one of the most iconic. The greatest shot in basketball history is what some people are calling it. Now, I'm not ready to go that far, because there are a lot of worthy candidates for that honor. You got Ray Allen's shot in 2013 in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs. That was one of the craziest clutch shots I've ever seen. And then you got the famous 1989 Michael Jordan buzzer beater against the Cavs. That's referred to as the shot. Like I said, there's a lot of worthy nominations for the greatest shot in basketball history, but this is definitely up there. Steph Curry destroyed France, bro. Those last 4 shots he hit was the greatest sequence in Olympic history. Absolutely unreal. And for all the Americans that was rooting for Team USA, now y'all see how it feels to be a Warriors fan. Now y'all see how it feels to root for Steph Curry. It's exhilarating, man. He's the best show in basketball. And watching Steph finally get that gold medal, man, it's dope to see. Steph's legacy and his resume was already stamped, but this just takes us to a whole nother level. Steph Curry is the 5th player in NBA history to win at least 4 NBA titles, 2 NBA MVPs, and an Olympic gold medal, joining Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, and Bill Russell. That's some elite company. When you think about it, it's kind of crazy that the 3 best players for Team USA were the 3 geezers on the team. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry, the 3 oldest players, the elder statesmen, and the 3 most prominent players of this era. Oh, and by the way, they're also the 3 leading scorers for Team USA. All 3 of those dudes are still playing at an elite level. I don't think Team USA wins gold if the OGs don't commit. And on any given night, in any given game, more often than not, they're the best player on the court. Which is why the Warriors need to go all in on the Steph Curry era, even if it means sacrificing some of these youngins. How could you watch this Olympics, seeing Steph Curry at the top of his game, maybe not at the absolute peak of his prime, but not far from it, and still have the mindset, Steph's done, the Warriors are done, 0 chance, their time is over. Like, are y'all crazy? Like, what are we doing here? The Michael Jordan of this franchise is still at the top of his game, bro. He's not 22 Steph, he's not 2016 Steph, but he's at least 85% of that. 90%? Bro, he's still one of the best players in the league. He's still unguardable. He's still a chef. He's still a magician on the court. And y'all Warriors fans that are doubters, y'all see this firsthand. And you're just like, nah, let's punt the rest of his prime. Let's get him up out of here. Let's start this rebuild. Let's get it going. Let's do it. Come on, bro. Look, I don't know about y'all, but I'm in no rush to start a rebuild that's going to take 10 years. Why are some Warriors fans so thirsty to move on from Steph? I kid you not. There's a portion of Warriors fans that are in favor of trading Steph for draft picks. Fuck them picks, man. I don't give a damn how many picks Steph is worth in a trade. I don't give a damn about how many pick swaps you can get out of it. I don't care about none of that, bro. If I'm the Warriors, unless Steph walks into my office, stares me in my soul and demands a trade, he ain't going nowhere, bro. He ain't going nowhere. I'm not willingly trading Steph for nothing. I don't care what no team offers. Unless Steph says, I'm leaving no matter what, you better trade me or you're getting nothing, he ain't going nowhere, bro. That's what it is. I'm going to do what I got to do to max out Steph's last few years. Because at the end of this era, when Steph hangs him up, I want to look back and say I got everything I can out of this dynasty, bro. I want to look back and say I milked every opportunity, every chance at a title, everything I possibly could out of this era when the best player in our franchise history was here, in his prime, still competing at a high level. Because let me tell you something, bro, and some of you Warriors fans need to hear this. It doesn't matter if Steph retires with the Warriors 3 or 4 years from now, or if we trade him right this second for draft picks. Regardless of what young players are still on this team and how many draft picks they get back, this rebuild is still going to take at least 6 to 7 years, at least. And that's just me being optimistic. Usually when teams pivot to a rebuild like this, bro, you're looking at a 10-year rebuild. Unless you're a hot commodity preferred destination like LA, Miami, or New York, free agents ain't about to just flock to your team because you're the Warriors. The Warriors are the Warriors because of Steph Curry. And when you take Steph Curry off the Warriors, all of a sudden, that shine of being the Warriors ain't really what it was. So I don't think a lot of you understand that. Before Steph Curry got here, the Warriors were not a free agent destination. Yes, they're a California team. Yes, the Bay is a nice place to live. I'm born and raised here. I love the Bay. But players ain't lined up to come here, bro. They're just not. For whatever reason, they have other preferences. So more than likely, you're going to have to rebuild through the draft and through trades. And drafting players is not a guarantee, dude. Every draft pick is essentially a mystery box player that could be a good player, can also be a terrible player. We've seen it firsthand. The Warriors got gifted the 2nd overall pick and botched that shit, bro. They botched this so bad. They drafted a player who is now playing for the veterans minimum as a backup 4 years later. How do you mess that up, bro? I say that to say this. Steph Curry's proven. He's still playing at a high level. You know what you have with him. You know what he's going to give you. You know what he's capable of if you give him the necessary talent around him. I'd much rather go with the known commodity, the commodity that we've known for the past 16 years, than a mountain of mystery box players that may or may not be good, that may or may not be James Wiseman. Like, I really don't care about them picks. Those picks can wait until after Steph retires. Once Steph retires, and then we could play the mystery box game with these draft picks and rebuild and hope to draft a high upside player that may or may not ever be half the player Steph Curry is right now at age 36. Let's say you get 5 first-round picks back. What are the chances that any one of those picks is half the player Steph Curry is, has half the career Steph Curry had? Come on, bro. It's not very likely. This version of Steph Curry at 36 years old is probably the best player you're going to have for the next 10 years. Why not go all in on him? Why not give him a chance? There will never be another Steph Curry. He's the definition of a generational player. He's one of one in his own way. One of the top 4 most influential players in NBA history. He revolutionized the game. What I'm trying to articulate to y'all is don't take this dude for granted. Once he's gone, regardless of who's on his team, things will never be the same. This is the most important era in Warriors franchise history. And as long as Steph Curry is still playing at an elite level, it ain't over yet. Steph's our guy, man. Let's get everything we can out of this era, and then we'll worry about the rebuild in like 2 or 3 years. And call me crazy, but there is a path to the Warriors getting back to title contention. And that path is Kevin Durant. Look, hear me out. Steph Curry and KD were awfully close during the Olympics. You can tell they genuinely miss playing with each other. Besides Steph and LeBron, Steph and KD were the best of buds during the Olympics. After their game against Serbia, KD had the highest of praise for Steph Curry. That was a godlike performance. God was with him tonight. It was one of the greatest games I've ever seen him play. In terms of high praise, you can't get much higher than that. It's obvious Steph and KD still have a strong bond. Here's what KD's mom wanted Durant to say about Steph and KD. We would have had 20 rings by now, and it was about 10 years ago. That's how cold they were. And I promise you, her saying that, that's a conversation that she's had with KD. KD knows what's up. He knows how potent him and Steph are. He knows how cold they are as a duo. He knows can't nobody mess with them. Even now, 5 years later, they will still be a devastating combo. So yeah, man, I'm just saying, maybe the Olympics was the exact seed that need to be planted in KD's head. Just in case Phoenix implodes this season, KD knows in the back of his mind, the chef, that dude's cold. We won 2 chips together. We were unstoppable. That's definitely an option. I promise you Steph will welcome him back with open arms. That's not a problem. And it's kind of hard for him right now as things stand with the season starting to just demand a trade to Golden State. But if we get a quarter into the regular season and Bradley Beal is buns or he's injured, Devin Booker underperforming, if things look a little shaky, if things look like they're ready to implode, I can see KD saying, look, bro, trade me to the Warriors. Me and Steph got some unfinished business. And all it takes is KD to demand a trade to the Warriors. And that gives them all the leverage. Anyways, man, whether it's wishful thinking or not, let's have some fun with this. You know what time it is. Let's fire up the trade machine. All right, so the trade is Kuminga, Pods, Andrew Wiggins, GP2, and draft compensation for KD and Monty Morris. As for the depth chart, we got Curry at the 1, we got Melton at the 2, we got KD at the 3, Draymond at the 4, and TJD at the 5. At backup point guard, you got Monty Morris, Buddy Hield at the 2, Guy Santos at the 3, Kyle Anderson at the 4, and Quinn Post at the 5. All right, so for takeaways, DeAnthony Melton becomes vital, essential to your team after this trade. If he gets injured, you're done, bro. In this proposal, you're trading GP2 and Wiggins, your 2 best point of attack defenders, and Jonathan Kuminga, a player that you were hoping to groom into that role. That puts all the responsibilities of point of attack defense on DeAnthony Melton and Kyle Anderson. Both really good defenders, and I actually think Slow-Mo and Melton could replace 85% of what you got from GP2 and Wiggins. But the problem is Slow-Mo can't shoot, which limits how often you can have him on the court and play in certain lineups. Unlike Wiggins, who's a 2-way player, he can at least hit 3s at a passable clip, while Kyle Anderson's a non-threat, which puts even more pressure on Melton because he's your 2-way guy. He's the guy that can shoot enough to stay on the court. He's the one that now takes on the toughest assignments. And if he's unavailable or he's injured, you're cooked, bro. The next takeaway, your depth is pretty sketchy. In this trade iteration, if you look at the Warriors' hypothetical top 8 players, which is all they would need for a playoff rotation, their top 5 or 6 players are solid. But after that, it gets real sketchy real quick. Your top 8 is Steph, Durant, Draymond, Anderson, Melton, TJD, Buddy Hield, and Morris. It's kind of solid, but those last 3, TJD, Morris, and Buddy, I don't know, bro. TJD was looking like a deer in the headlights against the Kings in that play-in game, but he got benched in the playoffs for the Sixers last season. And Monty Morris just signed for the veterans minimum, bro. Those are all solid regular season players, but in the playoffs, we have to wait and see. But the good news is they'd be playing next to and benefiting off of Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, two top 5 to 7 players in the league. That'll make their lives a lot easier offensively. Now defensively, especially for Buddy and Monty, might be a problem. Hopefully Looney plays more like the second half of last season Looney versus the first half, because he was cooked in the first half of the season. But as his minutes got reduced and as he had more of a limited role, he seemed to have more energy and played better as a result. As for Quentin Post, he's a 7-foot stretch 5, so I'm hoping at 24 years old he can give us something immediately. But again, he's a second-round rookie. You never know. For all we know, he could be in the G League all season, so you can't count on that. Now, can this hypothetical roster win a chip? I would say they can, but it's going to take the Warriors having injury luck in their favor. Let's just say hypothetically, they stay completely healthy for the entirety of the playoff run. I think they go into any playoff series, regardless of who they're playing, a serious threat to win for one simple reason. In any matchup they're in, they're either going to have the 2 best players on the court or 2 of the top 3 best players on the court. If they play the Nuggets, Denver has Jokic, who's probably the best out of the 3, but the Warriors got Steph and KD, the 2nd and 3rd best players. And I'd take Steph and KD over Jokic and Murray any day of the week. If they play Minnesota, they easily have the 2 best players in the series. And Edwards is a guy. He's probably going to be one of the faces of the league for a long time. But right now, he ain't better than Steph, he ain't better than KD. I don't care what nobody say. I would highly favor the Warriors in that matchup. If they play OKC, they got the 2 best players on the court. Some might say SGA is better than Steph, some might say SGA is better than KD. Y'all can say that, but I don't. In terms of providing regular season value, I guess you can say SGA is a more valuable player. But in a playoff series, he hasn't really proved much. So in that situation, I would say the Warriors have the 2 best players on the court. If they play the defending champions, the Boston Celtics, in the finals, I don't even think biased Celtics fans can sit here with a straight face and try to argue that Tatum is better than Steph or KD. Same with Jaylen Brown. Star power matters, man. And in these scenarios, the Warriors will have the best star power. Steph and KD is a duo that we already know works. They won 2 chips and look damn near unstoppable doing it. They wouldn't need no time to mesh. They wouldn't need like an acclimation year. Nah, bro. They know how to play off each other. They still have that chemistry. And if you put them dudes back on the same team, they would immediately be the best duo in the league. Look, man, this trade doesn't guarantee you a chip. I don't think there's any trade that guarantees anyone a chip. But what this trade does guarantee you is a puncher's chance with 2 top 5 players on your team. That's all you can ask for. Steph Curry with another top 5 player by his side in a playoff series where anything can happen. I'd take those odds any day, bro. I got that much faith in Steph. And if they don't get it done, at least you went out trying. I'd rather go out swinging and striking out than being scared to swing at all. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all are trade for KD. But anyways, man, that's all I got for y'all. If I entertained you or you learned something new, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. I'll holler at you on the next one. Peace.